Chris, tell me about Rocky Creek and what you hope to offer here.
Well, Rocky Creek is a 1,400 plus or minus ranch property that was established by my parents, Ray and Sarah Baden, back in 1997. And it was at that time going to be the achievement of a lifetime, the dream of my dad to have his own place to go hunt and fish and just be a kid.
And you want to make that available to the public?
I do. Back in 2010, I began exploring ways that the next generations would be able to go forward, keeping the ranch in the family, and so looking at various business opportunities to leverage the assets that Rocky Creek has been my mission for the last 4 years.
And you're looking at offering shooting and other sporting activities out here to the public?
While shooting and firearms classes and training are important to what we do because it's part of the fabric of the American ranch.
Sure.
We have other things that are of equal or possibly even greater interest to us that are mainstream and very family friendly.
Such as?
Canoeing expeditions based out of our fine lodging facilities, kayaking. We've got plans for an extreme adventure down through the Flatford Swamp by kayak to go to places that people have never seen before. So we're looking to launch that. Hosting business workshops and retreats at our destination with the Chamber of Commerce's participation is something that we also seek.
Now, I know you have a bunkhouse and a B&B up there. What other physical amenities do you offer?
Well, those are the two structures that were originally built back in early as 2000, and they were designed really with only the thought of being able to have large numbers of our family and friends out. And as time progressed, I realized that on a small scale it would fit the mold for being a bed and breakfast type operation where we could provide the amenities for people that want to come and spend multiple days on site for whatever the outdoor activity is.
Okay. Now, we're not allowed to get any closer, are we? Right now, I'm not on your property per se.
It's true. You can't enter the property. In fact, by a recent court order, I was forbidden from bringing any visitors or guests to the ranch that are not directly family members.
And this court order came about because a neighbor objected to the shooting that was going to be going on in your property, and he filed suit about 2 years ago, correct?
The suit was filed in 2012.
Okay, and that's progressed slowly through civil court?
It has, and it's had its share of participants that have joined the calling to try to stop Rocky Creek from opening as a legitimate, permitted, and valuable member of the business community in Manatee County.
And at some point, the judge issued an order that was just a couple weeks ago, which is somewhat curious.
Yeah, we were alleged to have conducted business operations that violated, in the judge's words, the spirit of her injunction.
Okay, and what did her order specifically bar you from doing?
Well, there were three things that we left the courthouse that day feeling most troubled by. The first was forbidding the discharge of firearms at Rocky Creek Ranch for any purpose: commercial, personal, self-defense, land management. There was no specifics as to exceptions to that.
So this is your 1,400 acres. You own it in conjunction with your sisters.
I do. It's a family-owned property.
And you can't shoot on your property. You can't hunt on your property.
That's correct.
And that's for the judge's order.
That is correct.
You can't target shoot on your property.
I cannot.
What about self-defense?
Per her order, I'd be in violation of the injunction if I were to use a firearm for any purpose in which it would be discharged to protect persons or property. You
can't shoot on your own land.
That's correct.
And there was another provision in that order?
There was, that no hunting is to take place, and there was no exceptions stated as to whether it could be done with dogs, traps, bows and arrows, rocks and sticks. So hunting has now been taken off the table, and the fact is it's a long-standing common practice for rangeland operators to be able to control the feral pig problem that we have.
So how is your feral pig problem?
Well, it's always been bad, but now it's getting worse.
You're losing money, losing property. Are they destroying?
Well, they're creating conditions that it's going to cost us a substantial amount to have to go in and repair those areas that people view as valuable and accessible for recreation.
And you can't call the herd legally. You can't cull the herd down at all.
No, these are wild pigs. They roam.
And the part of the judge's order that's keeping me from going any farther toward your property specifies what?
That no non-family third parties are permitted on site.
So you can't have friends over?
I can't have friends over. I'm not sure I could have my second cousin over.
And that only limits the visitors to immediate family?
Correct.
So do you think you could have your attorney come and visit?
By the order, I'd say that is that's excluded and forbidden.
What was your initial reaction to that order? Did you believe it was constitutional?
I was taken aback, and I felt at an intuitive level that my civil rights, in terms of my Second Amendment and potentially my First Amendment to legally, peaceably assemble with those that I wish to associate with.
The freedom of association.
Freedom of association. And there are probably legal arguments as to private property rights that have been intruded upon.
Now you have some people that you're going to employ. You're going to have jobs out here. What are these guys saying about the judge's order?
Well, it's costing all of them, obviously, and they're trying to keep breath and britches together and muddle through this whole thing, trusting that this lead that I've taken in trying to get this done is going to pay out for them, and they'll be able to stay on with the business and have jobs and pay for their expenses.
Right. And as far as this, it's not really accurate to call this a shooting range, is it?
No,
I mean,
it's
a
not.
little more than that.
In fact, in my early efforts to spread some awareness about Rocky Creek, and there's still information on the internet, we were a shooting resort.
Kind of a destination?
It's really very much a destination, but I've found that of course, accentuating the shooting aspects in firearms aren't necessarily mainstream, and that is fine.
Right.
Again, we're contending with an inaccurate public perception that Rocky Creek is all about guns and that is it, and
right.
That is simply not true. But that's the narrative that folks that are in opposition to what we're doing out here have thoughtfully, carefully crafted.
What is a more accurate narrative?
More accurate narrative is that we're going to be a unique, one-of-a-kind destination for Manatee County and Sarasota area, the likes of which don't exist anywhere else in the state of Florida that I'm aware of, that will allow us to pursue, I think, the enjoyment and freedom that we as Americans believe we're entitled to.
How long has your family been in Manatee County, Chris?
About 6 generations. We got here in the 70s, but that was the 1870s.